Welcome back to Poison Pose. In this video, we will learn the first unit which is given in Standard 10. Unit 1, Supplementary, The Tempest. The Tempest was written by William Shakespeare. He is a famous one. William Shakespeare was born in 1564 and he lived till 1616. He was born in England. He was an English poet, playwright, and an actor. Widely regarded as both the greatest writer in English language and the world's preeminent dramatist. His surviving body of work includes 37 plays, 154 sonnets, and two narrative poems, the majority of which he penned between 1589 and 1613. Most of his written parts were between the year 1589 and 1613. Before getting inside the story, let us see the characters of the Tempest. Prospero. He was the Duke of Milan. Miranda, Prospero's daughter. Antonio, Prospero's brother. Ariel was a magical spirit. Caliban, Prospero's slave and an ugly monster. Alonso, King of Naples. Ferdinand, Alonso's son. Gonzalo, an old and honest lord. Sycorax, a witch. There was an island in the sea, the only inhabitants of which were an old man named Prospero and his daughter Miranda, a very beautiful young lady. She came to this island so young that she had no memory of having seen any other human faces than her father's. In this paragraph, they talk about an island which is in the sea. This island had only inhabitants. The only people who lived in that island were Prospero, that is the Duke of Milan, and his only daughter, a beautiful young lady, and her name was Miranda. These two people lived in that island, and this young little lady, she came to this island when she was a very small girl. She came to the island when she was just 3 years old along with her father. And here they say that she had no memory of having seen any other human faces than her father's. She has never seen anybody other than her father because in that it was a lonely island, and inside the island only these two people were there, the father and the daughter. Let's go inside to the next paragraph. They lived in a cave made out of a rock. It was divided into several apartments, one of which Prospero called his study. Now, here inside the island, they lived inside a cave. So, here also, he had several apartments. He has divided that cave into several apartments, in which one was his study room. Inside that, he had a lot of books which were mainly treated of magic. All the books which had magical notes inside that. So, such books were his famous and his favorite books. By virtue of his art, he had released many good spirits from a witch called Sycorax, who had them imprisoned in the bodies of large trees. And inside that island, there lived a witch named Sycorax, and this witch had made a lot of good spirits to be imprisoned inside the body of large trees. There were large trees, and inside the large trees, lot of good spirits were prisoned. They were kept inside and they were locked inside the body of large trees. These gentle spirits were ever after obedient to the will of Prospero. Of these, Ariel was the chief. This man, Prospero, the Duke of Milan, when he was inside this place, he had released these good spirits from those large trees. And those gentle spirits were like servants for him, and they were very obedient to Prospero. They were doing all the works which were ordered by Prospero. And the chief of all those spirits were Ariel. He was the chief of the spirits. Ariel took rather too much pleasure in tormenting an ugly monster called Caliban because he was the son of his old enemy Sycorax. This fellow, Caliban, an ugly monster, he was the son of the witch Sycorax. Tormenting. What do you mean by tormenting? Tormenting means making someone to suffer or worry a lot. Ariel took rather too much of pleasure in worrying him, in making him suffer because he was the son of his enemy Sycorax. Caliban was employed like a slave to fetch wood and to do most laborious offices, and Ariel had the charge of compelling him to these services. This fellow, the ugly monster Caliban, was given a lot of work and he was treated as a slave. He was asked to do all sorts of work like fetching the wood from the forest and doing all the laborious offices. With the help of these spirits, Prospero could command the wind and the waves of the sea. So Prospero had the power of commanding the winds and the waves of the sea with the help of these good spirits. By his orders, they raised a violent storm, in the midst of which he showed his daughter a fine large ship, which he told her was full of living beings like themselves. This man Prospero, he commanded a violent storm in the sea, in the middle of the sea, and he was showing his daughter a large ship which was there in the sea in the midst of the violent storm. And he said that this large ship, had a lot of living beings like themselves. Oh, dear father, said she, if by your art you have raised this dreadful storm, have pity on their sad distress. See, the vessels will be dashed into pieces. Poor souls, they will all perish. In these lines, the daughter is feeling sad for the poor souls which is suffering in that dreadful storm. What is dreadful? Dreadful means fearful. It is extremely bad. It is unpleasant. The fearful storm is created in the midst of the sea, and those poor souls are struggling in that sea. Be not so amazed, daughter Miranda, said Prospero. There is no harm done. I have so ordered it that no person in the ship shall receive any hurt. What I have done has been in care of you, my dear child. You are ignorant. Can you remember the time before you came to this cell? I think you cannot, for you were not then 3 years of age. Here in this line, he says that do not be amazed, my dear Miranda. He is talking to his daughter. He says that there is no harm done to them because I have ordered them that nothing will hurt them. And he also adds that I have done this because I care for you. He also says that you are so ignorant, my dear darling daughter. Do you remember the time that you came to this island? You do not remember because you were not even 3 years of age when you came to this island. This girl was not even 3 years of age when she was set inside this island. 12 years ago, Miranda. continued Prospero. I was Duke of Milan, and you were a princess and my only heir. I had a young brother whose name was Antonio, to whom I trusted everything. My brother Antonio, being thus in possession of my power, began to think himself the Duke indeed. The opportunity I gave him of making himself popular among my subjects awakened in his bad nature of proud ambition to deprive me of my dukedom. This soon effected with the aid of King of Naples, a powerful prince who was my enemy. Now he is giving a flashback of what happened before 12 years. He says that, my dear daughter Miranda, before 12 years, I was the Duke of Milan. Milan is a place, and that's a beautiful place. And he says that he was the Duke of Milan. Who do you call as a Duke? Duke is a person who is in a very high rank, just like a king, somewhat like a king. He was the King of Milan, and you were my princess. And he says that he had a brother, and his brother's name was Antonio. Antonio was given the power opportunity of being with the people. Subjects means people of the country. So he had the thought, evil thought of becoming the duke of the country. So, just because he wanted to become the Duke, King of Naples, that is Alonso helped this fellow Antonio to take away the kingdom, the dukedom. Wherefore, said Miranda, did they not that are destroy us? My child, answered her father, they dared not. So dear was the love that my people bore me. Antonio carried us on a board a ship, and when we were some leagues out of sea, he forced us into a small boat without either tackle, sail, or mast. There he left us, and he thought to perish. But a kind lord of my court, one Gonzalo, who loved me, had privately placed inside the boat water, provisions, apparel, and some books which I prize above my dukedom. This paragraph talks about the sad flashback of Prospero. Here he says that Antonio, Prospero's brother, took him in a big ship. He boarded in the ship and he wanted to kill them. He brought them to an island. He just left them over there so that they will perish. He was not dared enough to kill these two people because his subjects, that is, the people of the country, they loved the king very much. Here, Miranda is asking, did they not destroy us? Did they not kill us? He says, no, they did not kill because my subjects, my people, they loved me so much. So he was unable to kill us. So he brought us to an island. He just left us like that. And there was one kind lord of my court. That is, his name was Gonzalo, and he loved the king very much. So he brought all the necessary things like water, provisions, apparels, and the books that the king loved. He prized it the most. He brought all those books and kept it for them, for the Prospero and his daughter. Oh, my father, said Miranda, what a trouble must I have been to you then? Dot is asking, oh, my father, that was such a difficult situation. So I must have been a big trouble for you, right? No, Prospero says, no, my love, said Prospero. You were a little angel that did preserve me. Your innocent smiles made me bear up against my misfortunes. Our food lasted till we landed on the desert island. Since when my chief delight has been in teaching you, Miranda, and well have you profited by my instructions. He says, "Oh, my love, no, you were not a trouble to me. You were such a little angel, and your smile let me forget all my misfortunes. You were the one who gave me hope to live on this island." Let us continue the remaining lesson in the next video. Don't forget to watch part 2.